Okay, if you're a head teacher, you already know the deal. The pressure is immense, isn't it? You're meant to be the strategic visionary, the emotional support for everyone, the one with all the answers. And while it's an incredible job, let's be honest, it can be utterly draining.
Does this scene feel familiar? That revolving door to your office, a never-ending queue of people, and every single one of them has a problem they expect you, and only you, to fix. It really can feel like your main job title has become Chief Problem Solver for the entire school.
So let's dive into what we're calling the head teacher's dilemma. And let me be really clear here. If this is you, it's not some personal failing. It is an incredibly common trap that so many brilliant leaders fall into.
Feeling drained? Overwhelmed? Under constant pressure? Yep, you are absolutely not alone. And that feeling of having to spoon-feed colleagues, that is probably one of the biggest frustrations I hear from school leaders. Honestly, it's just exhausting.
But what if there was a different way? As head teacher Karen John says here, what if the real solution isn't about you getting better at solving problems, but about creating a culture where your staff get better at solving their own? Now that single idea changes everything.
Right, which brings us to a really powerful idea. The myth of the fixer. You know, we're almost conditioned to believe that a great leader is someone who just has all the answers, who can fix anything. But that model is completely broken.
The truth is, it just doesn't work. Trying to be the one and only fixer for a whole school, well, it's a fast track to burnout. It eats up your time, it saps your energy, and frankly, you can't be in a dozen places at once. It's totally unsustainable.
So, we have to ask ourselves this tough question. Every time you jump in with the solution, are you actually helping? Or are you maybe robbing your team of a chance to learn? Are you building their skills, or are you just building a culture of dependency on you?
And this is where things get really interesting. We're going to look at a new approach. This isn't about adding yet another thing to your plate. It's about changing the way you lead entirely.
Now have a look at this. This comparison is the absolute light bulb moment. On the left, you've got the classic fixer model. You tell people what to do, you solve the problem, and you create dependency. But look at the right, the coach approach. You ask questions, they solve the problem, and you empower them. You go from being the expert with all the answers to being a partner in their thinking. That is a game changer. It's simply about making a small but powerful shift in your day-to-day conversations. It's a habit, not another qualification. So how does this actually work? Well, at the very heart of this new approach is one transformative, simple action. It's all about the simple power of asking. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Telling creates resistance, asking creates relationships. Think about it in your own life. When someone just tells you what to do, your defenses go up. But when someone asks you a really good question, it invites you in. You build a connection. And the ripple effect from this is just huge. Your staff don't just feel more listened to, they genuinely become more capable. You see them start to build their own problem-solving muscles. They become more engaged, more confident, more independent. And that dependency culture we talked about, it just starts to melt away. So that's the impact on your team, but let's get to the really good bit. What's in it for you? This is where we talk about how you can reclaim your time and, just as importantly, your energy. Right. Look at this number, 2.5. Just let that sink in for a moment.
That's 2.5 hours per week that you could save. Every single week. Seriously. Research shows that just 15 minutes of using a coach approach can save you up to 2.5 hours down the line. What could you do with that extra time?
So let's just pull it all together. The outcomes are exactly what so many heads are crying out for. You finally start to break that cycle of dependency, you empower your staff, and, crucially, you free yourself up to do the big picture, strategic work that only you can do. It's a win for them, and it's a massive win for your own well-being. And look, this isn't just a nice theory. This is from Monica Austin, a head teacher for 14 years. She says that after all that time in the job, she'd never come across anything as powerful as this. That's a pretty incredible endorsement from someone who's been there and done it. So, are you ready for our revolution? Because adopting this approach really is revolutionary. It's a quiet shift in your leadership that can have a huge, positive impact right across your school. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. This sounds great, but when on earth would I have time to read a book? I get it. That's why this book was written for you. It's not some dense, academic text. It's short, it's practical, and it's all in plain English.
And the best part is, This isn't about some long-term plan where you have to wait ages to see if it's working. It is full of simple, practical strategies you can literally start using in your conversations tomorrow, and you will see and feel the difference almost straight away.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought. What could you achieve with that extra time and energy? What's that big, strategic vision you've been wanting to bring to life if only you weren't constantly putting out everyone else's fires? It's definitely something worth thinking about.